Hey guys, this is Shayon from Simplex, and today I'm going to cover everything you need to know about the Galaxy S7 and the S7 Edge in this video. Let the intros roll. So firstly, the S7 and the S7 Edge were unveiled right before the Mobile World Congress show started for Samsung. So Samsung had this special launch event where it showed that it was partners with Google, Facebook. So let's get started with S7 and S7 Edge first. Let's talk about the specifications and then I will give my views about it. The S7 Edge at a glance. Form factor, it had a metal and a glass body with IP68 water resistance, guys. That means it is water resistant beyond 1.5 meters for more than 30 minutes, or at least that's what they said. Now the screen is a curved 5.5 inch Super AMOLED display with 2560 into 1440 or Quad HD resolution. Moving on, the camera is a 12 megapixel camera which is something called the dual pixel. Samsung claims it's much brighter than the iPhone 6s Plus camera. It has got an f1.7. It has smart OIS, or what Samsung is basically saying is that your videos are going to be rock solid. Moving on, it has got 4K video capture, something that we expect from all flagships these days. It's got a 5 megapixel front camera, but the best part is the front camera also has a pretty wide aperture. It's got f1.7 again. So that covers the main camera and the selfie camera. What I noticed in this section was that the camera is almost flush with the body. A huge improvement over the S6 and the S6 Edge phones right before this. Moving on, the chipset. Now Samsung did not exactly announce which chipset will be available in which market, but it's going to have a Snapdragon 820 or an Exynos 8890 depending on your market. Memory. Samsung is offering 32GB or 64GB of internal memory, but here is the best part, guys. This time you get to expand it with micro SD card. Yes guys, after all, Samsung has listened to its customers. It was a bummer last year when the S6, the S6 Edge, the Note 5 and the S6 Edge Plus could not have their memory expanded via micro SD cards. Thank you Samsung for listening to us customers. Moving on. Connectivity. It has got optional dual SIM connectivity, which is obviously market specific, but you're going to get the SIM card, the single SIM card or the single SIM variety more or less everywhere in the world. It has got NFC and MST for Samsung Pay, and obviously you'll be able to connect to your devices and use your NFC tags with this phone. Now moving on, the best part is the battery. Samsung has packed in a 3600 mAh battery in the S7 Edge, which is awesome guys. Seriously Samsung, thank you for the huge battery. Now something to note over here, Samsung has not made the jump to the USB Type-C, something that I'm happy and sad about. It is sticking with the micro USB port, which is seriously awesome. Now why do I say it's awesome? Because it will be right away compatible with probably all the wires lying around in most of our houses, because most of them are micro SD, aren't they? Now the part where I'm sad, well, Type-C offers faster data transfer rates if it supports USB 3.0. Now phones like the Nexus 6P do not have the USB 3.0 support, but if it did have, it would be much faster. So yes, USB Type-C would be faster, more convenient, because you can plug it in both ways. So yeah, that is why I'm kinda sad. And the last part, it's got the same fingerprint sensor on the home button. So it's faster than ever, that's what Samsung claims, but once we get our hands on it, we'll be able to actually put that claim to the test. Moving on, now it's time for the Galaxy S7 specs recapitulation. The S7 offers a metal and glass body, as you guys know, and similar to the S7 Edge, it has got an IP68 water resistant, which is again water resistant beyond 1.5 meters for 30 minutes. And just so that you know guys, I'm going to make this clear right away. I have the specs listed down on my screen, so I'm sometimes glancing at it. Hopefully you guys forgive me for that. I couldn't keep all the specs in my mind. So anyway, moving on, it's got a flat 5.1-inch screen, and it is again of the Super AMOLED variety as we expect from Samsung, and it's of the Quad HD type. That means it's 2560 into 1440. Moving on, the camera is again 12 megapixels, and that's what I said basically during the S7 Edge. Everything is the same. It's 12 megs. It's got f1.7 wide aperture size. It's got a smart OIS. It's got 4K video recording, and the selfie camera or the front camera is a 5 megapixels with f1.7 aperture size. Moving on, the chipsets are the same: Snapdragon 820 or Exynos 8890, market specific. Internal memory 32 gigs or 64 gigs, expandable via micro SD card. And they did not exactly demo, but in the video that they showed, in their demo video rather, they showed a 128 GB micro SD card. Now SanDisk has a 200 GB micro SD card. So basically what I'm trying to say is that you can pack in a lot of memory in this device. Thank you Samsung once again for that micro SD card slot. Moving on, the connectivity. It's got again optional dual SIM variety, so market specific. It's got NFC plus MST for Samsung Pay, and you can connect to all your devices with just one tap, provided the device has NFC. The battery, 3000 mAh. Now Samsung made a very intriguing remark over here. When announcing about the battery capacities, Samsung said that the devices will let you watch one entire season of Game of Thrones with just one charge. Now that's a pretty hefty claim, Samsung, but we will put it to the test nevertheless. Moving on, it's also got a fingerprint sensor right on its button. So the basic differences between the S7 and the S7 Edge is one has 5.1-inch screen, the other has a 5.5-inch curved screen. The curved screen obviously with the S7 Edge. S7 has a smaller 3000 mAh battery, S7 Edge has a larger 3600 mAh battery. And that's about it. Everything else is more or less the same. Obviously, since the screen is a little larger on the S7 Edge, PPI is going to be lower. I'm just going to read out how much is it. It's 534 PPI, and the S7 has 577 PPI, so it'll be pretty much negligible to the naked eye. And lastly, the most exciting part, guys, the latter half of the video had a chunk of a guest billionaire talking about the new device and all the new possibilities of virtual reality. It was none other than Zuckerberg, and Zuckerberg truly reinstated Facebook's and Oculus's faith in Samsung's new engineering breakthroughs, and seriously, he made quite a statement about the Gear VR and its possibilities. So I'm expecting this device to make quite a splash, rather devices, the S7 and the S7 Edge, along with the Gear 360, the Samsung Gear VR, and obviously all the new bells and whistles and the new accessories that Samsung has launched along with these two devices. To conclude, guys, the S7 and the S7 Edge, at least the launch event, was pretty awesome. A thumbs up from Simplex. Thank you. Over and out.